Okay, so Clapham are coming out on offence with Chevron on defence. For the moment, it's just me, David Pitchler, with you. One of Jaguar or Styles will be joining me later, but at the minute they are not around. It's pretty windy, maybe as windy as it was yesterday for Clapham semi-final. We've got the wind coming from the same direction from left to right on your screen as you look at it. Um, we've got, for Clapham's offence, we've got Ford, Maltman, Yo, Mitchell, Parslow, Rob Schumacher, who showed up for the final only, so not sure what his teammates think about that, and Jamie Cross. I think yesterday in the EMO semi-final we saw Chevron pull a lot of junky zone kind of set to really stop EMO's pull play, and I would expect to see the same today. Yep, so we come down, we've got Fandango in the middle, looking around, trying to stop Clapham's pull play. That's going to be pretty key. If Chevron are going to be able to do something today, they're going to need to be able to stop these pull plays, make Clapham play a game they don't want to play. Doesn't look like it's quite transitioned yet. They've stayed in it. Okay, I think it's transitioned. I think they're in man. Maltman's got the disc on the break mark. Jamie Cross has it. This is what Clapham want. Their offensive handler, just dominating the offense, breaking marks, and Parslow scores an easy goal. It's 1-0 Clapham. So Ian Thackeray, the veteran of many Leeds campaigns, and Chevron as well, setting the offence. They're going red 2, if you know what that means, red 2. We've got Bevan, Kime, Parsons, Thackeray, Cowie, Dav, and Mead. Pretty much the same line as we're used to seeing from the Chevy O. Clapham will probably be more comfortable coming straight man against the Chevy team. As we said yesterday, stacked with athletes. They can afford to go one-on-one with the Chevron squad and take confidence in the fact that they think they'll grind them down over the course of a long game. So Ben Funk puts the pull up slightly into win. Josh Kime catches it, centres to Mead. Chevron running out of a stack. Barron on Bevan, which is a matchup we've seen quite a lot from Barron in his fire days. Very similar players, very quick off the mark, good sense of space, very important for their offence. There's a call. Bevan's knocked Barron to the ground. So you can see a big field right in front of Kime as he puts one up straight to Parsons. You can see they isolate that side of the field that the disc is on, make it take all the players out of it, make a big space, and then it's easy to put that huck up to Ben Parsons or Rich Coward or Mark Davin. And there's a great little self-check there. Jamie Cross would appreciate that if he wasn't playing. Fact makes a veteran foul call there, I think. Just pumping a few fakes, still gets high, takes a bit of contact, calls it. Ben Funk kind of knows that he's bought into one there. Ooh. Yesterday we saw Tom Abrams not lay out, and I think that one, if he'd laid out, he would have got it, but it really took him by surprise. Kind of behind Coward, quick hands, grabs it. Mum's looking at that. He's looking at that spot thinking, if I'd laid out, that would have been mine. I think Harris is letting him know it as well. So Howell, walking his O-line to the line. Maltman out for Wilson. Mark Penny with a pull. It's got good elevation. Parslow just goes to catch it in his end zone. So Clapham are missing a few players this weekend. They're missing Keane Moraine. Dave Stobbs is on the sideline. He's injured. There's just Don Clark as well. A lot of their offensive handling core isn't here this weekend. And what that means is we're seeing a few of their normal cutters coming back and filling in the handling duties. So Justin Ford, Matt Parslow, doing a bit more throwing, a little less cutting than they normally do. It speaks a lot that Clapham can take players like Parslow and Ford and just drop them back behind the disc and use them to work the offense rather than score and throw all the goals. So Ford's got it on the sideline, goes around to Cross. Bit loose, but Cross gets there first. Cross loves that IO flick. There it goes. And had 3 Clapham players, not all cut for that single flick. That's how much they know he's going to throw it. It would have been just an easy dish. But there's also a call. Cross is looking for it again. Penny needs to keep his hands low, backhand high. There, he's forced them backwards. Chevron doing a good job of just protecting that open side cone, but Clapham good at getting the breaks out and attacking through the other side of the field. What's really important is that Clapham, Chevron, the trailing guy gets his mark on quick, so they can't get the second around. You see that give go to get it off the other side, and that IO from Jamie Cross. There, that's that bid by Dixon. That's what Chevy are going to have to do. It was a good stand, keeping them on the goal line, but Chevron are going to have to make sure they get those marks on quickly. That was good. Quite a few passes when Clapham were only a few yards from the end zone. Just a nice replay there of Jamie Cross's IO. Makes the point, makes it an easy assist for Ashley. Just gets it underneath Dixon's hand, and it's a goal. So Sam Bowen's come on for the offence in Thackeray's place. Sam Bowen had a good game yesterday. He got himself a block, a couple of nice grabs, got the assist. Got the assist for a D point. He's a good young player. Well, he's not so young anymore. He's under 23s last year. He's got a lot of potential. Very athletic, good thrower. Kind of player that Chevron are going to have to go to in this game, along with Dav and Cowie, in order to not clap them off their podium. Funk's pull, looks like it's backhand IO, it's caught the wind and it's sailing out. Cornelius just telling Mead he can take it. Got 3-4. It looks like, Baker's just walking off Kime, getting in the lane. Tom Abraham's telling him, no, don't bother. Changing the mark. So it's a flat mark with the two-handler dumps, just standing in the lane, stop that pull play. Actually, it looks like more of a cut. The handler marks are just chasing the disc around, getting in front of it. That's going to stop the big, that's going to stop Chevron just getting it to one side of the field and punting it. Make the handler think twice about what he's doing. It causes a bit of confusion downfield with the cutters as well. So you're going to see some hesitant cuts that might give the downfield defenders a chance. Kind of the way to get through this is be a bit more active with your handlers, run a few give goes, move the disc quickly, spread it out wide, try and tire out those handler chasers, and it's gone to man. What's going to be successful here for Chevy is just how they adapt to this man defense. And Mead bounces one up and Bakey comes in and swipes out the air. Brittany setting his D-line. Will Cornelius on the mark. You can see the Chevy defenders standing inside their players to try and stop this vert stack, getting the cheeky IO for the easy score. So they go around to Abrams. Ooh. Ben Funk just gets the better of Sam Bone in the corner there. It's a 1 yard D. It's a 1 yard D goal for Clapham. So I've been joined by Steve Jaguar. Say hello, Steve.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching UK Nationals 2014. I'm subbing in for Tom Stiles while he, I think, is ordered some sort of 8-course meal in the clubhouse.
Are you excited to be watching this game? Do you have high expectations?
I'm really excited, actually. I think Chevy are pretty pumped. They may be a little disappointed from their performance at Worlds, and maybe has something to prove.
Yeah, they had something to prove yesterday.
Against Emo.
Against Emo, yeah, absolutely. As we discussed.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd say they've got something to prove. I mean, this is the game they've been playing for a number of years.
It's classic.
It's classic.
Yeah.
And with all due respect, Chevron haven't won it in a number of years as well. So, and every year that weight of desperation for teams like Chevy and Emo to beat Clapham gets higher, and then the drive for Clapham to keep going gets higher as well. So that reputation kind of pushes Clapham. And it definitely pushes the teams trying to compete with them.
What do you think Brittany's black cap as opposed to his white cap? How do you think that's going to affect the game?
It's better. It's much better. It's more synced with. He's got black shorts on.
Yeah.
There's a black element to those red shirts. Black sleeve.
It's more intimidating.
Yeah, it's more intimidating.
Yeah.
White doesn't suit Brittany.
No.
So that's the second OB pull that we've seen from Clapham. It worked out for them the last time, that's all right. But and we see Mead going straight away deep to side Dathan, who just takes it above a bidding Chris Fraser. Dathan on the end zone line. He's only got Parsons in the goal. He's going to need to get that disc. He gets it to Mead. I thought I heard Fraser say stall out, but he seems to have declined it and walked away. That was great, a great huck from Mead, and then very undisciplined from Chevron.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's something we've been talking about over the weekend with other people is how difficult it is to score when you're standing on the line. I mean, I think a lot of people think we're really close, this should be easy, and it turns into a bit of a mess, like we just saw right there. Yeah. What would if you were up on the line that close? What would your first your stall one is to score it, and then afterwards?
I think the first thing is to look into the end zone. So you had Parsons in the end zone. Look at Parsons. If Parsons doesn't give him something, turn around and just look at one player for 2 or 3, and then if he's not free, look at another one.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're probably on about 7 or 8. You can call a timeout, or you can do what Cy did and get a bit lucky.
Yeah.
So actually, there are only 2 passes at that point. Mead to Dathan.
Yeah.
Dathan to Mead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably total stall count of about 16.
That was the biggest give and go we've seen.
And one of the slowest as well. So, Penny pulls. Chevron already a breakdown, so they need this one to get back in the game. Ford just decides to let that one land in the back of his end zone. This is what Chevy need in order to get that break, take a lead, and Clapham pretty easily get it to the end zone line, even though there's a lot of pressure. Happy to swing it. Nice big crossfield swing.
Chevy pushing them all the way back to the middle of their own end zone.
Looking upfield, looks a little messy, but now that they've got it to one sideline, there's a lot more space for Parzo to cut into. Ooh! He has to go up, and he comes down with it. Shuey now, not here yesterday. For the first we've seen of Rob Schumacher. He decides to make himself a hero. And that's easy for Justin Ford. And it's an easy assist.
That looked like it should have been harder than it looked like. Well, when the disc left, it looked like it was going to be difficult for him to bring that down, but it kind of just came right down in the basket.
It was a great throw in the sense that Harry Singer-Thompson had no bid on that at all, but it required.
But he was running straight away from him.
Just as soon as Ford steps deep, Shuey just says, "I'm just throwing this to you," and it's right over Harry's head. Harry's looking up, you can't see it. Ford does have to get his head up and adjust.
It's a great read.
It just goes straight into his hand. Yeah. In the end, that was a terrific throw.
yeah. And that was one of those throws that if it hadn't been caught, what were you thinking?
Yeah, that's awful.
No, now it's brilliant.
But then Clapham make a much neater end zone play of it than Chevy, just taking the first option, having someone nice and free, nice and wide, and it's a goal.
Any predictions? It's only 4-2 now.
So they've had some close games this year.
Yeah.
But I think in Worlds they went 15-11, but Chevron only turned 4 times.
Wow. Okay.
Or rather, the Clapham D line didn't turn over in that game. So that's something.
Wow.
That's pretty good. So that's incredible from Clapham, and that's. I think if you'd said to Chevron, your O-line's going to turn over 4 or 5 times this game against one of the best defenses in the world, they would have said, "Yep, that's good. We can win that."
Yeah.
I think Clapham already have a break, so unless we get a Chevy break soon, I think it could be a 15-10, which is not really what we want to see.
No, nobody wants to. No, there's actually quite a big crowd today, but we got a few hundred people watching.
Yeah, I think this is a good slot between the games, but I'm not sure if people stay around for the full game. Cy Dathan on for another offensive point. Oh, catches it between 2 defenders. He's passing deep, but could have got it out, but decides to be safe. And
Layout D.
Tom Abrams just sensing that that late kind of dump throw. A little bit, and he was an attacking defender to a static receiver. Some sort of foul call, but we play on. Nice little wide release flick from Rich Raz there. Similar to, we talked about that sort of play yesterday. That's where right. that flick just to get you to the inside out break space, but there's no swing cut today for Clapham.
Wow, it's getting a high stall count.
High stall, and he calls a timeout.
Yeah.
So he was obviously listening to us when he was down here. How would you sort that out? So it's a high stall out. It's a high stall count. What?
Gonna guess he's on 7.
7 at least,
yeah.
What would you set up? What are you expecting to see them do?
I have no idea what Clapham's plays are. We have some fairly rubbish plays, which are usually just involve 2 players, and that's all I would go for. What you probably have something more advanced in mind.
I think they've got Gilbert on the disc.
Yeah.
I think he will just look for his dump, and whoever he wants his dump to be. Yesterday when they did this, Harris has got the disc there, and he had Funk as his dump.
Yeah.
A little bit of wind, probably thrown the dump into the wind. Nice big tall person.
Yeah.
Comfortable on the disc when he catches it. So I expect Funk, Abrams, just to be standing behind them. If the stall count's really high and it's too late to make a dump cut, it's just going to be step and throw something. And the defense's job is to
find your biggest man.
Yeah, the defense's job is to take away the obvious thing and hope they can do that for 3 seconds.
What would the D then be? Something clammy?
You could put all your eggs in one basket and just put one guy on the mark, 6 in front of him.
Yeah.
Throw a hammer. Yeah. I think it'll come in. I don't think they want to throw everything at it, so I think there'll be a hard mark, probably no around.
Yeah.
And then the defender will be trying to stop the up the line.
Yeah.
And then
give him the straight shot to the zone with no one there.
But there may also be someone isolated in front of Gilbert coming off the stack.
Okay.
Just to give him that option in case Chevron don't respect that properly. Yeah, so we've got Abrams isolated, Raz behind. Baker isolated.
Yeah.
Raz is the dump. So this is interesting.
And everybody just getting out of the way.
So now
we've got Gordon way over on the far side. I mean, as a ridiculous potential option.
Yeah, the old. Well, Gilbert's a lefty, so it's either going to be a scuba or he's going to be throwing a blade. We saw him throw a blade yesterday. Probably won't throw one today. And he just goes to Raz with the blade. Raz he had a good 2 yards off time there, so the thrower initiated worked really well. Still counts getting high here. Continue cuts just a little slow there from the D line, but like I said, they like to they'll just take what they're given. You can see Davin there sprinting to get to the other side of Gilbert as the disc swings.
There it is.
And there it is. So
it's great use of the width of the pitch.
Yeah, it was great dumping and swinging. Basically, get it to each sideline, and it's the speed at which they do it as well. Even though the cuts aren't there, they were moving it across the field quickly enough that eventually some defender in the stack is going to lose their position. Goal. So we're now 5-2.
What are you saying? You're in the Chevy camp. They call a timeout? Is that the reason everyone's on the pitch?
No, I think it's good to walk back to the line with your whole team. If you're walking back to the line on your own, it can feel pretty lonely. It can feel like your team hasn't got your back. Maybe some of these boys might want to get called on.
Yeah.
So it's good to walk back with the captain because
Like
he might,
he sees you there.
he might, this guy looks a little tired. I might take him out. So looks like it's the same line. Oh, Jackson's come in, number 7. I'm not sure if Sakura was on the field last time.
I don't think so.
Keimer's gone.
I noticed yesterday the height difference between Clapham and Fire. I see a sort of similar.
Yeah. So the days of the big old chevron deep.
The Dave
Seelys of the world and
the Dave
other
Pitchlers.
Various Daves. I'm not. It's not. They've changed the way they play a little bit. They've got some great young players who aren't 6'5".
Yeah.
So what they tend to do is just try and play a little bit quicker. And I mean, it looks like almost the same D-line from Clapham. Phil Garner's on for Chris Fraser. It looks like that's basically it. James Mead, just a little tough. Was he faking and it just came out of his hand?
It looked like there was a lack of confidence. So
Gilbert picks up. Raz gets 3 up the line, and here's that continuation cut. Takes 2 defenders, and then James Mead just gets his shoulders turned. Phil Garner senses it. Now I would take a timeout.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see Penny turned around.
Yeah,
indicating the timeout.
Little timeout close to his chest.
Yeah.
As if they know it, he knows it. Yeah. Don't need to make a big sign. It's just guys. Yeah. You would do the same. So we're getting
a quiet moment for
you
ourselves.
can see the first continuation cut just brings 2 across. Mead can't find his man, and then he sees him just a second too late.
Aww.
Doesn't quite get off the ground enough because he's sort of off balance, looking around for the cutter.
I just touched this and
You could just.
There we go.
Hello, mate.
I can't see anything. No, my knee hurt me.
Oh, yeah. I'm impressed you got up there, to be honest.
It's not happy with the 90 degrees.
All right, okay.
Sorry, was this any good for you for shade, or are you not bothered?
Harris setting his D-line. Very similar line to before. Fraser in, Bakey in, but we've still got Gordon, still got Funk, still got Gilbert.
Quick timeout for Clapham. Just a little chit chat. Well done.
There's nothing for them to change, is there?
What are they saying? You've been in Chevy timeouts. What are they saying on there?
Talking about themselves, talking about the systems they want to run.
Yeah.
I think they've had a few mistakes, maybe from players being a bit too loose.
Yeah. You say the systems are working. It's just poor execution, or?
I think so. I think so. I think it looks like the systems are working, but a couple of bad executions. I don't know if they're looking off open passes. It was difficult to see in that last game. They're not a team. They're not afraid to work hard and really work the lanes, work hard, but just a couple of silly mistakes. and they find themselves 6-2 down. And you can see Clapham D-line smiling, laughing. I won't say which player because he might get in trouble. But they look relaxed. They brought a lot of energy into this.
Yeah.
And they've cashed in quite early.
Well, I was talking to Matt McLaughlin before this game, and I asked, how's the route here been? And he said, a little easy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's difficult to come in this game when you haven't been truly tested.
I spoke to Dan Fennell about Emo's route into the semi-final, and he said kind of the same thing. They had, no disrespect to the teams they were playing, but they had comfortable victories.
Yeah.
And then they had to come up against real defense, real offense.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Emo didn't play defense, but I feel a lot, kind of like Chevron doing say, a few of their errors were self-inflicted.
Yeah.
And that might just be from the first time of just getting up to that next level.
Yeah.
The pressure, it's not people aren't getting blocks. It's just more silly little mistakes from the mental pressure.
So Coward on the line.
So you can see there's that big isolation this side of the field. That's all James needs to cut in. If Dav doesn't want to throw it, he's always got a dump there. It's a very distinctive style of play for Chevy. And
huge anticipated D from Fraser.
Fraser just gets a tip on it, turns around, gets his head up. His man hasn't cleared out. That's why you make clearing cuts. Ooh, and Bakey just
gives it back.
Gives one back. Bevan straight away to the pickup, fakes the deep option, plays it safe. Josh Kime is an excellent player for young players to watch as to how you should receive the disc, how you should look at the field. Because every time he gets it, he puts in a big fake to continue the throw, continue the flow, but he's always got his head up. So he's always just seeing. There it is. I mean, that time obviously he didn't do it because it was a goal. But when you watch Kime, he catches the disc and he looks up and puts in a big fake. He's looking at the field. What have I got? And you can see every time his man flies past him and it opens up the other channel, and it just keeps the defender off him. And then all he has to do is throw that big step once, and he'll get it for the whole game.
That's good. There's people who sometimes get lulled into making that fake and they have no intention of actually letting it go. Whereas I believe if he had the option, it would go. Yeah,
you can see from the way he's got his head up when he makes it. A lot of people just are stepping left and right, waving their hands around. But with Kime, he's using it to open up the field for himself, and that's just good fundamentals, good techers. He's just given the disc to Penny there.
But through the D line.
Penny doesn't realise that he's pulling. Maybe he thinks Jacko's pulling. He's seen it. There he goes. Yeah, I'll have this. Yeah, I fancy this one. So it's maybe a mistake because he's on the downwind sideline. If he's going to throw a roll curve backhand, this could go out. And the IO backhand is going to struggle to travel as far. What do we reckon?
I would still say
round. Yeah, he's gone for a lot of height. The uncatchable pull. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
What a great pull. Thank goodness he didn't throw it out.
Thank goodness it was. Yeah, he knew everything. He knew what was going on. There's never a doubt.
So what have we got here from Clapham?
It's like Cross.
3-4. Yeah, Jamie Cross picking up. We've got 3-4. And Sheffield are just playing a little pincher. So you've got Alan now in the lane, making that throw hard. Ooh, that is Jamie Cross has squeezed that one down the line between Deck Cartwright and Afro.
So there goes Mitchell. A bit of a mess.
It's a little messy upfield, but they're good at just isolating that backfield space, hitting that dump, hitting that swing, giving their cutters a chance to regroup. It's one of their strengths of their offense line. So now they've got it almost in the same spot they had it, but it's a little cleaner upfield. Penny just poaching off Mitchell, trying to stop that upline cut to Cross. I think Bowen's saying, mate, I had it. Will you just get on your man? Mitchell runs for 1-2. There's a double cut. And Parslow's got it on the break side. Beautiful. Andy Mitchell just had it on the brick mark, ran up the line, ran around the end zone. Easy goal. And it's 7-3. That was better from Chevron's D.
It was
Kept
good.
them on the field. Had a shot of a bid from that first pass from Cross. A good pull.
There was a lot of Andy Mitchell on that point.
Fair amount of Andy Mitchell, yeah.
We just, even if he wasn't involved in touching the disc, he just didn't seem to be away from that huge stride, getting himself into the next.
Bit unfair on Mark Penny. He's not a small guy, Penny, but
Yeah.
he's not got the long shanks like Mitchell has.
Yeah. 7-3. Still going to 15? Or are we going to 17 now?
I think it's going to 15. I'd like to see this tournament run to 17. I think that would add an element of flair, but I think Europeans only runs to 15, so you can't be odd having a qualifying tournament with longer games than the actual thing itself. But maybe that's something for Cy Hill to look into. So we're seeing Rossbauer, Gilbert, Barron, Harris, Funk, Abrams to pull. Chris Fraser just taking up his position opposite Josh Kine.
If you didn't catch Abrams' pulls yesterday, they were absolutely amazing.
He's got, for someone with no upper body muscle, he has got, well, normally...
We said that. Aaron. Oh, it's worked out.
It's worked absolutely fine.
Yeah, so it was brilliant.
The roller.
He knew what he was doing there. It wasn't.
Great pull, Tom.
Yesterday, he put an upwind pull to the center back of the end zone.
Pulls like that are worth probably 2 breaks a game, certainly 2 Ds a game. So difficult to play offense in your own end zone when the opposition has just been able to almost walk down and mark you up.
Chevron almost all the way back in their end zone.
Cowie.
Josh Kine. Up the line.
Josh Kine finds a poached side Dathan. That was smart because you could see Cowie going away. He had steps on Funk. I think the Chevron team would always put that.
Why is nobody marking side Dathan?
It's just too quick.
It's just too quick.
I think Tom Abrams is marking side Dathan, but he's actually trying to
Yeah,
trying to stay alive just in case something goes deep. He's just letting side come to him really. You can see Chevron will switch the field. They've got a lot of space for cuts to cut into. So it's against the mark. They need to reset it, get that disc back into the middle. Side Dathan there again. Side Dathan hits the IO, so Tom Daly, it's just too much. Just a touch more finesse on it, touch more touch.
I think he thought it would sit a little longer. I think it might have been an opportunity earlier for LA to get that.
I think he might have had a high stall on him as well. Maybe just a little bit of lack of composure.
That's 2 in a row that they really tried to. Well, was it Josh Kine did a really nice low break to get that out? But they tried
trying to hit those IOs.
Trying to hit that IO leading pass is hard.
Oh, and Tom Abrams drops it. Fraser again under a bit of pressure, light side Dathan just doesn't catch it, and it kind of must have fallen into Abrams' arms, bounces out.
A bit of a gift for Chevron.
But Chevron have it almost in the same spot that they turned over from now, with this flat mark on, which can be so difficult.
There it is again. It works.
James Reed breaks the mark.
Yeah, he gets a touch.
James Barron gets a hand on it. You could hear him shouting peace. But all it did was it just kicked it up a bit.
Yeah, gave it the length it needed.
Gives it to Bevan. Thanks, mate. Chevron survives. But
7-4. That makes it
7-4. And they'll take. It wasn't tidy, but they'll take that. They want to get their D line out there. They want to get a big D. Just if they can get a break before half, it will just do a bit more for them. It will mean a lot.
We'll give them momentum.
They're coming out on O on the start of the second half, so that break could be worth 2 points. Well, obviously it's worth 2 points, but
it will be. Stating the obvious is a commentator's job.
Yes, Chevron are in blue, Clapham are in red.
Not very good if you're watching this on a black and white television and you live in the 60s. Or if you're actually
watching it on a black
colorblind.
and white television and you're watching it, but it's on the internet, then I'd like to know how you pulled that off.
We had this. We had a problem with. I think Kev Lowe. You know Kev Lowe?
Yeah.
I think he's colorblind, and he was really annoyed when he saw a blue team playing a red team once.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to tell them apart.
Yes. They merge with the green apparently.
There should always be a white.
Big pull by Bowen. He's gone crossfield. get that bladey in. The key, when it's like this, the key is just to make sure Parslow can't catch it.
Send it up, roll it out the back.
So the advantage you get from catching the pull is pretty great, but that sets them a challenge. Parslow decides to decline the challenge, lets it roll out the back, walks it to the front, being marked by Fandango. Oh, he just runs the last few steps because he's cheeky. Bevan happy to let Andy Mitchell go deep. You can see they're running that sort of 3 across the middle with Fandango just kind of not really marking the dump tightly, trying to make himself a nuisance.
Is this his own show?
Yeah, it is. You can see Bowen's the deepest.
Yeah.
You've got a line of 3 with 31, 37 and Cowie 23. And then you've got 2 handler points. 3 handler, sorry. You've got 0-0 in front of, that's the attacker. You've got him just in front of Bevan. And then you've got 2 handler points. Weddle and Fandango just working like animals, just to get that mark on, some sort of mark, while the other one tries to take away the nearest dump pass. And this is the situation that they want. When they've got it in the middle of the field, it's kind of hard to really get a lockdown on it because Clapham spread their offense out quite wide. Let them get it to a sideline and then bring all the players in. Forward having a little chat with Fandango. You can see the way that they're just letting players run past them if they. Ooh, Ashley Yo takes one in front of Davin. So you can see as someone comes close to the disc from the right hand side, Thackeray just goes to it, and they go for the hammer. Cowie over Parslow. That's going to be a call.
That was better. Came in late.
Parslow had 2 hands up that touched the disc.
They're off. Quick.
They're off. Parslow with a quick start and a quick break.
Too far for 2 of them.
They'll take that. And Dav picks up, hits Waddell in the back corner. Wow. That is Chevron's D-line offense.
1 shot. Let's not waste time.
Quick start. We've got to have at least someone going deep. Waddell, not the tallest guy in the world, but it doesn't matter because both Clapham defenders looking at each other. I thought I had that. Waddell's taken off.
Yeah, would take advantage of 1 bad throw puts 2 Clapham defenders to the ground.
And they've got the break.
Yeah.
And there was good energy from Waddell.
On the replay, right to the back corner.
So doesn't make it easy for him. But Waddell had been chasing the handlers left and right across this field for a good minute and a half before Davin just said, "Oh, just another 40, mate. Here you go." Pops it out to him. So they've got the break that I wanted them to get. 7-5, bit more of a game. They could get another one. That would obviously be a dream, but
it would be
it's a lot to ask.
Yeah.
You can see Don Clark on in his white shirt. Just to let you know that he's helping Sean Scone, aka Brummy, with the Elite Skills Clinic in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
So if you want to go along and get taught by someone who's played for Clapham for 5-6 years, plays sudden death D against Revolver, one of the best players in the country, and Brummy's a fantastic coach, really knows his stuff, then get in contact with, I think you can get in contact with it through the UKU, or
it'll be on. Go to the UK website.
There's a Facebook page, or just contact Brummy somehow and get involved. Parslow catches the pull, and we've got that set again. Jackson getting quite close to the cross there, gives the easy hammer to Javert. And we saw a little bit of that yesterday. What Javert just did is get inside that cup, see if you can use your catch to get close to the point so you can throw through them.
They switched to man.
Yes. Yeah, they've switched to man.
And it's up.
TC is covering. I think that's going to be Wilson. Oh!
Yeah.
Wilson goes up. I don't think he needs to go up as early as he did. He was favourite to get that. TC was there to make sure he doesn't make a pancake catch of it, but just missed that one. The wind just catching it a little bit.
Well, that counts as a D. You feel 2 sets of footsteps coming in hard at you. Maybe you take a little earlier than the wind lets you, because the wind's going to carry it a little.
Big crowd. Some girls in the crowd. You want to make a nice catch?
There's some girls in the crowd.
Hey ladies, did you see me get up? Oh.
And
But better get it back.
yeah, there's something good now.
So Penny walking it up, dead centre of the field. There's a good position for shot. So you can see two cuts coming away, clearing that sideline for Ty Dathan. But a few poachers, some good defence from Clapham. This is their O-line, but they're very difficult to play against. Very athletic, very good defenders.
There's an opportunity to go. The defense didn't take it.
Ooh, Jackson Holsters, I think everyone thought that was going. Finds McLaughlin. Oh, and Ashley Yo. That is Chevron losing communication between their dumps and their cutters. Just getting both cutting for it. And it gives Ashley Yo a chance to pick off a pass and send it to someone else. Magnus Wilson. It's a little messy downfield, but Jamie Cross picks up the dump, tidies things up, and it's an easy goal. We've seen that goal from Clapham today.
Yeah.
Maybe at least 4 of the 8 points they've scored.
Over and over. There's a difference that I'm seeing between Chevron and Clapham in that Chevron are, well, when Clapham give away the disc, they've made an error. Whereas Clapham are getting Ds.
Yeah, and I think Chevron are going to have to notch it up in the second half because they've got a big hill to climb, but they can do it. They've got the athletes. So it's half time. Players are going to take a break. We are too. See you in the second half.
So Steve Giguere has taken his leave of absence. He's got a very sore knee. I think sitting up here in the commentary bench is aggravating that somewhat. So you've got myself, Tom Styles, back here with Dave Pitchler.
Hello.
And we're in the middle of this open final from Southampton in the UKU Nationals. And Clapham, playing in red, are up 8-5. So far, story of the game, Dave?
Chevron just making a few uncharacteristic mistakes on their offense, giving Clapham the disc. And as I said to Steve, basically, when you give Clapham's D-line that disc, you don't get it back.
No.
Clapham been fairly ruthless in their conversions. Chevron, though, definitely capable of running with this team. Very good offense. Move the disc quickly. They like to go big. They're happy going big, but they're also happy just dumping, swinging, playing boring.
So that disc down the line there from Davin to is it Jackson or Mead?
That was to James Mead. Just picked off by Chris Frazier. Just sees it coming, comes off the back of the stack, got his head up, and that's happened. I've seen that a little bit. The Clapham players seeing the play develop, and if they're not marking someone who's active, getting up and trying to make a nuisance of themselves. And Chris Frazier's made a nuisance of himself there, and it's helped his team out.
It's been great listening to you talk about the plays. You're almost able to predict what the next move is. Is there that going on inside the players' heads as well? They can see what the next step of Chevron's attack is going to be.
Well, it helps that I played for both these teams. Ooh, and Bevan gets it back. Just a little underthrown swing to Tom Abrams.
Fast start there, 25.
I think they've both got very different styles. So, like I said, Chevron really want to isolate their big cutters, give them space. You know, if you give Cowie 30, 40 yards of space to work in, he's going to get free. Clapham, a bit more rooted to structure. Don't like to play through names. They want to play through the structure. And you know, having talked to the guys at Worlds and stuff, how their team is playing, you kind of get a gist for what they're doing and seeing a few of the points they've scored. So Clapham's D-line does give it up, and Chevron score on the second attempt to make this a game. 8-6.
So Jackson with the disc across into the corner. And who was the score there?
Coward.
Is it Coward?
Yeah.
Rich Coward there with the score. So yeah, 8-6. That's a lot tighter than it was looking like it was going to go at one
it was
point.
7-3 at one point. So that was a 4-point game, and now it's a 3-point game. Clapham just Chevron rather getting that crucial break. So they broke Clapham before half, but then Clapham went in, scored on offense, obviously for the half. But then they came out and they secured their offense point out of half. So it just keeps them within a sniff. But there's a lot of work for them to do still.
And Clapham, you always feel like when you're watching them play like this that they've got an extra gear.
Yes. I think from what I've seen, Chevron have another gear as well. I'd like to see both teams kind of start hitting stride now.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get either a really clean offense point from Clapham that's going to set the bar, or a really, really good D point from Chevron that's going to put them under a lot of pressure, get a D, put it in cleanly, and then that will just make the teams not shut up. Aspen.
So Jake Aspen in the far corner sends the disc up. It's going to float in the wind.
Is the wind going to push that in? Arzo says no.
Just outside the
Man's
back.
about a metre outside the field. I guess the question.
He's going to leave it there, and JC's clapped his hands above his head. He's going to brick it. Brings to the middle. Has that changed the offensive structure? And he's run it all the way in.
And Chevron not going with their zone, but McLaughlin just standing up forward and saying, getting in the open side lane, making sure it's not an easy throw that he goes up for.
Maltman now, options deep. Harris cutting under.
Break around to Ashley Yo, just keeps his feet in. Good feet from Ashley Yo.
Swings it back.
We're now looking at their vert stack end zone offense. Break around to Parslow. Ooh, he wanted that one to Ashley Yo, but good work by Waddell just to get on the mark. Fandango
Beard
lays out, but
yeah, Maltman was there. Easy early cut from Maltman, wasn't it?
He's the timing of the cut.
Quick player.
He reads the game very, very well. It's very difficult to mark, and he reads his defender very well. So when you're marking Giacomo, you're tight with him. As soon as you turn your head, he's gone.
Yeah.
And if you give him a yard, That's all he needs. He's very, very quick in the acceleration. So this sort of end zone offense is just ideal for him.
Suits his play.
Absolutely.
So Clapham extend their lead once more. 9-6 is the score. They took the half. And both these teams over in Italy for the World Clubs. Were you out there yourself, Dave?
I went out there. Yeah, I was. My wife was playing for Iceni, so I thought I'd go and tag along.
So you were just a spectator.
I was a spectator. Yeah.
And what was your highlight from a GB point of view from watching the teams
Well,
out there?
Clapham Revolver game, sudden death. That was absolutely incredible. Had everything. Had good frisbee, which helps.
Yeah.
A drama. Clapham went up, then they were down, then they went down some more, and then they came back, and then Revolver went up, and then it was sudden death. So that was excellent.
Performance-wise?
I'd say that was the best performance I've ever seen from a UK club.
Yeah.
That was a real highlight, and I think it was a highlight for it was a highlight as well because the atmosphere of the tournament, because it wasn't on the show pitch, so there was a big crowd gathering around, and the crowd was kind of 4 or 5 people deep all the way around the pitch, and so as it gets 15 all, 16-15, 16 all, just the sense of anticipation.
Yeah.
It was kind of like watching. Ooh, Bevan decides to go deep to Coward. Mum giving chase. Coward's got position. Ooh!
Great grab from Coward. He went up early.
Mum
Read that.
just keeps Mum on his shoulder. And
Back
Chevron
again. Read that. Oh, it's a hero-making pass, but not quite enough in the legs to get there.
These are the sorts of mistakes that Chevy are going to have to really reel in against this team, because I know they've got a full 70 yards to go with a bit of wind, but you wouldn't want to give the disc to Clapham's D-line too much.
We saw Clapham's defence there, sort of a standy-offy zone.
Yeah.
Talk us through that one.
The point of that is
maybe talk us through that one next time we get it back, because they're on O at the moment. So let's see what we've got down the far end of the pitch.
Ooh,
Great
Matt
block.
Bevan with a block. He had one of those yesterday on against Emo. That is what Bevan used to do. And Ollie Gordon, doing what he does, goes up, big grab, it's a loose dump pass.
So Abrams with the disc for Clapham now. Options being closed down quickly,
Sees
but Harris has got it. Harris to Gordon. Gordon looking at Gilbert. Abrams going deep. Abrams still deep. No, Gilbert
Fakes that. He sees it, he wants it, he doesn't want to throw it. Fraser up the line.
Fraser across into
that
Gordon.
beautiful backhand that he's got. Low release points. Gets it to Gordon. Look now in the middle of the field, which gives him
Abrams.
options. Abrams 2 cuts to that side.
Gilbert. Gordon now. Gordon's looking for the Abrams in space on this side. No one's in it. He's looking. Who's cutting? Who's cutting? There's Harris.
There we go. Breaks the mark for Harris, and it's another
Fantastic.
break for Chevron's Clapham's D-line. 10-4, 10-6 rather. 4-point game.
How did Harris generate so much space there? Did he just wrong foot Caesar?
I think it was.
Just
might have been
pace.
against the mark. I wasn't too sure. So he's instantly got a yard or 2 there against the mark.
But that was all. That was all Abrams was looking at, because Clapham had completely vacated that side of the pitch, and all of a sudden,
I think, and I think Chevron might have been just trying to poach off a little bit. Maybe Caesar turns his head to have a look at where Harris is, and Harris is off
gone.
like a shot.
So it's 10-6 now, I think.
10-6.
Score's got a bit updated. There it is, 10-6.
So Funk picking up the disc, looking to pull it. Wind's just picking up a little bit. We've got Raz, Baker, Barron, Harris, Rosbauer, and Phil Garner.
Where's Ben Funk from?
Ben Funk is from the US. He's a graduate student at Cambridge University. He's from he went to Stanford, which is in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So it's nice when you can pick up players of that caliber and experience, just in your everyday recruitment.
They're rocking up to a city which is 70 miles from London, and still that's their chosen team of choice, isn't it?
It's a tiny distance compared to North America.
I suppose they travel big distances over there, don't they? So Clapham 10-6 to the good in the Open final.
Chevron fielding Jackson and Penny on their offense line, as well as Bowen. Clapham taking their time with this. Chevy waving their hands, saying
set your line.
hurry up, yo.
Yeah.
So a little bit of what you might call a blended line. We've still got Davin, we've still got Coward, we've still got Bevan, and we still have Parsons. So it's a little change of personnel.
So they're just shortening their line a little bit to.
I think they've conceded, so a bit of a tough point.
Yeah.
You know, a couple turns each actually. So they just think, you know, let's make sure this line is. Let's bring on some fresh legs.
I've seen another point drift out the back. Another pull that's not hit the pitch.
So Bevan walks it up to the brick mark, being marked by Barron again. That's going to be a big matchup to watch this point. And the other matchup is Harris versus Bowen.
Yeah.
That's going to be worth watching.
Davin to Bowen. Bowen looking at the line, nothing available. Looks to dump it. Finds Coward.
Chevy need to, and there's
Penny.
Bowen going away. Oh,
On
but
the other side.
Penny sticks it. Bowen stopped, but he's just going to be able to jog that one
Oh,
in. And that's
beautiful work. And Harris has got his hands in the air like, where on earth did
Where's
that
the
disc come
mark?
from?
Where's the mark? Why is he being able to get a backhand around out when he's, you know, inside our own half? Bowen doing a good thing of just jumping in, takes it nice and high, probably not under that much pressure, but takes off early, gets in the air, lands in.
So, I mean, Harris, his entire position, his entire defensive strategies for closing Bowen down there relied on that mark.
Yeah,
being strong,
otherwise
not
he's
being
got
broken.
no hope.
Yeah.
He just starts trying to play hard breakside defense. He's not even testing the thrower. Bowen can just come open side.
Yeah.
So he's got to really. Everyone's got to rely on that mark. Mark gets broken. I think the thrower Penny puts in a big fake one way. Mark dives across, opens up the backhand.
Yeah. Because Bowen wasn't even expecting that disc to come there. He was,
No, Bowen had stopped,
yeah.
and Penny threw it. The wind held it up, but luckily separation. Bowen still got separation.
Yeah.
So when he reacts to it, it's actually looks like it was meant for him.
Yeah.
All the time. So Bevan staying for defence. Fandango, Harry Singer-Thompson, Ben Powley, Neb Woodell, Tom Cartwright, Bowen getting another point as well.
And the wind is starting to gust a little bit on our back, so it's downwind. This disc may drift long again.
And Jamie Cross.
Yeah,
in the
that's
case, though.
done. So, adapt to that wind before too long, otherwise they're going to be playing. And the difference between playing from the brick mark and playing from 5 yards from the back line is such a huge difference at this level, isn't
The
it?
difference. So with the brick mark, they're now calling an offence. Probably they're going to make a. They know what they're going to do. They can get themselves into position. Whereas if you're fielding that pull, you know, the pull might not land dead centre in the field. You don't get as much time to react to it. These guys all know who their matchups are. It's a bit of an advantage for the
Ford
D to be
sends
able
it.
to
Bid.
Ooh.
Oh, grab! Just on the edge of the end zone, not quite in.
fingertip.
Which way is he going to go? Left, right? Changes
Bevan
direction.
with a very physical armbar mark on Wilson.
And Parslow looking left and right, back to Cross. Cross looking at Parslow again.
Ben Powley, the Chevron defence has stepped up a notch. First thing they stepped up is the physicality of these marks. You can see
Ford.
they're not.
Schumacher making it look
Schumacher
so
just to the
easy.
open side.
Getting away from Bowen, accelerating quick. And Ford patient on the disc, just looking for the man to open up.
Looks like an easy goal, but it was a bit of a gamble when they went deep and hit Wilson with the layout, with Bevan covering, trying to get, almost getting a finger on it.
Uncharacteristic gamble?
From Clapham,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they were trying to hit whoever the other deep cutter was. I think it might have been Justin.
Right.
Um,
And then he came under.
no, it just went
It
over
was-
his head.
Oh, did it? Okay.
I think it's not. They're happy playing the long ball, but here we go.
Here we go again.
So
it's
Asio's
centre.
going deep. Or maybe it was meant for Wilson.
Difficult to say from that replay what the
If it was meant
intention
for Wilson, I think the thrower would rather had stayed off the ground a little bit longer.
Yeah, yeah.
So these are the characters we've seen a lot of for Clapham, Baker, Gordon, Gilbert, been playing a bit of O-angle. Hopefully we'll see an inbound pull from him, Phil Garner.
So Abrams with the disc for in the 32 shirt, raises his hand, see if he can keep this one in. It's a lower pull.
It's low, but it's hard.
Yeah.
And it's dropped.
that is a
Josh Kime drops the pull.
always go for the catch, but at that pace, it was such a tricky one to grab hold of, wasn't it?
I feel like there's more wind down that far end of the field than there is up here. So
We've got a row of trees behind us, haven't we?
So as that disc comes in, it's actually picking up a bit of speed, kind of changes the velocity as it goes through. It's hard to read.
So big advantage for Clapham now as they're on the edge
Yeah.
of the end zone line. Gilbert with the disc, dodging left and right. Ollie Gordon making
isolated.
it down on the ground.
Mark
the
Penny
defence.
laying out on the mark. And
Gilbert finds his man.
Phil Garner, after a lot of scrambling by the Chevron defence, just appears out of nowhere.
And Gilbert jumping up and down like he's just won the whole game, the whole tournament.
That's an important break. That's 12-7. That's a free one.
You don't see. You mentioned how important the pull was earlier when you're chatting with Steve. That we saw that pull was what made the point there, wasn't it?
Yeah. So some teams say we always catch the pull, and they'll accept that they'll probably give one of those up, potentially a tournament, like a free one. But the advantage that the offense gets from catching the pull, rather than waiting an extra second for it to hit the ground, an extra second for it to pick it up and look around, is big.
Yeah.
So if you wait those extra 2 seconds, potentially you're marked up. If you catch it, you can get it moving 1-2, kind of attacking at the defenders as they're chasing it down, catching them, either catching them overcommitted, putting them on their heels. It gives you a real advantage. So it's a risk, it's a calculated risk that Chevron is part of their philosophy to take.
There'll be no hard feelings for Josh Kime for that drop. They'll just be accepted that he went for it.
Oh, he'll be
gutted himself.
He'll be gutted himself, but
Yeah.
his teammates aren't thinking about Josh dropped the pull.
No.
So let's see if they catch this pull.
Well, this is into the wind, so
Into the wind, so it's going to be a little floatier. Mead is underneath it.
Still a huge
It's
disc.
enormous.
It's going to go out.
And it
It has gone out.
2 feet out.
That is unbelievable. Who was that? Was that Ben Funk?
Ben
on-
Funk.
on
So
the disc?
an extra 2 feet. Too much time in the gym.
He looks like an athlete, doesn't he?
He's
He
he's
was 6'4".
he's probably about 6'2". I've seen him do ladder drills, and it's just a blur. He's got incredibly quick feet.
Nice.
So we isolate,
Finds the space to Penny.
clear out cut from back there, just to isolate some space for Penny. Nice and easy throw.
Send it
Penny
deep.
goes deep. Flick Huck against the mark. That's James Mead who threw it to him. That's a 1-2.
That's beautiful.
that
work
Chevron have
from
thrown.
Chevron. So Penny managing to find the space created by the cut out of the way by Thakra, and Mead, after sending it to Penny, returns the favour, goes deep and collects a beautiful disc from Chevron. Crowd a little bit subdued in this one, Dave. They're not seeing the close match they've wanted.
It's hard to get into it when it's 12-8, I think. But that's exactly what Chevron needed. 2-pass score. They need to get their defence
They're
out there.
de-working, yeah.
Absolutely. If they can get their defence out there and
And get these guys rattled, because so far they've not looked,
Yeah.
even when they have given the disc up, they've not looked phased by it.
too
at all.
worried. But they're making, and it says, you've got to make more passes than us. Scoring like that.
So we see Don Clark, is he carrying an injury there? And JJ?
So JJ Howell broke his arm at Tour 2, unfortunately, so
Yeah.
he missed the US Open and Worlds. He says he's on the road to recovery. He might be able to play Europeans, but he might just leave it for a whole season.
Yeah.
I think might be wise. Don Clark just picked something up this weekend. I think he was playing, and then
Thrash is the other person that's on the line.
Thrash pulled his calf midweek.
Oh.
So he's come down today to watch, but he's got his shorts and his trainers on. His Chevron, another out of bounds pull.
Yeah.
It is a hard job pulling, but we haven't seen an in pull for quite a while.
3 points. It was 2 downwind, 1 upwind, and 1. Yes, two downwind and 2 upwind.
So look at this
All out.
isolated space here from Clapham. All their players flooded to one side. Giacomo giving all the space he wants to cut, and he just bamboozles Fandango.
Sends it
Giacomo
deep.
shoots deep. Matt Parslow is
Oh, look,
unmarked in the end zone. I'm not entirely sure how he did it, but I know Matt Parslow is a crafty character, and he somehow managed
So
to
he's
give
playing
Giacomo
his
the
marker there. So that's unusual. I've not seen that at this level for
split snap
that's
for 10 years.
yeah, for a long time, having the whole offensive line over on one side. That's like an indoor play.
Maybe that's why it worked, because none of these Chevron defenders have seen it in their lifetimes, being as they are a little younger than yourself, less experienced.
Yeah. I remember seeing Blue Eyes Flies play that indoors, where they used to stack 3 players on one side of the end zone.
They just play a
And just-
homeboy.
Yeah, and have two handlers, one as a dump, and then just use the whole pitch as space to play through. But yeah, I've not seen his outdoors, and Giacomo is the perfect player, as you said earlier, with his change of speed. He can go whichever way he wants. He's always going to get a free pass, but I'm not sure even he expected to see Parslow as free as he was.
I don't think that was in the playbooks. Throw to the guy who the opposition had forgotten to mark. I mean, it's a great choice, but I don't think that's how that play is normally executed.
So
Chevy need to do the same. That was a 2-pass score. Brick pull, 2-pass score.
We've seen
Brick
that
pull,
twice.
2-pass score.
Let's go back again. Abrams is now
Taking over pulling duties from Funk.
and it's going to
roll
one of
it.
those tricky ones through the legs. Eventually stops it.
Befuddles 3 players, or 2 players before it hits me, and they come zone. This looks like a classic jump zone. You've got Barron as a chase, you've got a Wall, Harris, Fraser, and Garner, and then you've got 2 wings, and Brenda, that's their shout to transition to man. Mark Penny comes under, and he's got Deck Cartwright deep, but it's just a little too deep to throw that.
Coward with the disc now, and he's looking for Davin. Davin goes, and was he always looking for Davin?
I think the other Chevy boys know to get out of the way, to let those 2 cut for each other. They're good connection. You get a lot of scores. Dav to Cowie, Cowie to Dav.
And a little bit of a. Oh, it's Thrash is on the pitch now with his shirt off, isn't it?
I don't think so.
No, that can't be right. Someone that looks like Thrash from a distance. So Davin. But Mead coming down the line and gets it.
Garner close.
Looking for options deep, finds Davin swinging around. He's got Penny reaching high, Caesar's there, sends the hammer over the top. Change of direction was required. I think Coward was looking for that.
I think he was
the target, wasn't it?
I think he was trying to throw that to Mead.
Oh, really?
I saw Mead sprint into the area. I just think he threw it too low.
And
the wind's pushed it down. I'd say today I've seen Chevron's dumping and swinging isn't quite as crisp as it was in Lecco.
Yeah.
Ollie Gordon's isolated, gets free. So Clapham Sea Line happy to start offense slowly, but then once they get the disc moving, they just want to hit the free player. Happy to move the disc sideways and backwards. Ooh, Penny coming off Baker there. As we've seen some of the Clapham defenders do this game, just stepping off their man if they're not active, trying to get in that lane. Penny nearly gets himself a block, but there's a call. It's back with Gordon. Cowie and Gordon having a little chat. Coming in mid-stall.
Gordon with the disc to Fraser.
Oh, inside Dathan with a layout block.
He is quick and he managed to keep up with Fraser there. Gets the touch. Mead comes to the disc now. Mead's looking deep. Coward
just goes past Ollie Gordon.
Inside Dathan, darting around, changing direction quickly, but it's not on.
Look at Fraser staying in that open sideline as Dathan clears out.
Right in the lane.
Ooh, Mead has to step in front of Garner for that.
Davin.
And there's nothing on the break side yet for them, but...
Mr. Bid! Oh,
that is down.
Coward not able to keep the disc up. Poor disc from Davin as he goes across the pitch to open up a lot of space, but not
He wasn't under too much pressure with that mark. I think Harris was a little bit off him and Dav tried to bend something around, but he just got this release point a little wrong, a little low.
Dathan marking.
Died.
Harris with the disc now. Marked by Davin. Straight up force.
And they're forcing toward... And Cowie just picks off a loose... We saw Tom Abrams get a layout block on a loose dump pass. Cowie gets one there and he's actually managed to get a few yards for Chevron, which they're going to...
Dathan, Mead, Penny. Tiptoeing Caesar, not used. Mead available. Now Davin. Davin looking around, finds Cartwright's nice space on the far side.
Coward goes to the end zone.
Where's the cut?
Someone stops their cut.
Was that Davin? Was that Dathan? Just brought his cut
come
up?
under. Looks like they had a little chat with each other or a little gesture.
Maybe it was he was being marked by Ollie Gordon. It looked like.
That's 2 or 3 times now we've seen Chevron just miscommunicate on their shots. I don't know. That's very.
It must be frustrating for the rest of the team.
Yeah. Must be.
edgy centre.
And Fraser turns it. There must be something going on with the wind in that bottom corner that's causing the disc just to get pushed down every time people try and throw into it, try and throw cross field.
Certainly a little breezy up here.
So Chevron's offense line now has the disc on the end zone line on the corner. We've got a flat mark from Garner. Davin takes off early.
Caesar's darting
Okay.
around. Uses Caesar
Sacrificing a few
Penny.
yards just to keep it.
to Davin.
Davin, who made that first cut, so he's run
He's
right into the
both
end zone,
legs.
across the field, gets it back.
Darting around his Mead. As good available as the done, but the short disc into the end zone. Cartwright.
Picks that one up. That was a low disc. I think if they had missed that one for the third or fourth time at this point,
yeah.
I think captains might have lost their cool.
Toys out the pram.
Yeah.
So 13-9 is the score.
Still a game, but we need blocks now. This is the last realistic chance, I think, that Chevy have to get a couple back and stay in this game.
Even when Chevy are playing at their very, very best, how many O points can they take off Clapham?
How many breaks can they get?
How many breaks can they get before?
I'd say they can get 3 or 4. So I've been abandoned. So it's just me for the rest of the game. Another OB pull from Chevron. This isn't helping things, quite honestly. Parslow isolated deep, with Jamie Cross on the brick mark. Jackson, good coverage from Jackson, just can't quite get off his feet. Clapham working it out, happy to switch sides. Ooh, Sam Bowen inches from a dump pass block on Justin Ford, but for the little cheeky eye one over Bowen's shoulder. Clapham's cutters seem to have stepped up a little gear in terms of their speed, how hard they're running, timing of their cuts. Chevy's defenders have to match that as Justin gets a sneaky little foul call. Sam Bowen with a stray limb hits the disc. Justin gets a foul call, calls it back. Now the Clapham offense can just look around, set their end zone play, hopefully execute it right. Bowen's probably a little bit frustrated, knows that he's made a silly mistake. And Ford, an IO flick. And that second throw for Ashley, that's a break, but it's not. There's no mark on him. It's a nice, easy goal for Wilson. Chevron walking back to the line, 14-9 down. It's the standard O-line that we're used to seeing. Bevan, Kime, Parsons, Coward, Penny, Dav, Mead. Just a replay of that goal. As you can see, defender laying out, but still can't get anywhere near that throw from Yo. Magnus Wilson in acres of space. Basically a free one when you get the break out the way Ford did. Abrams with a pull. Josh Kine catches it. Absolutely no worries. Cowie free in that isolated space, and he goes deep to Dav, who can run it down. Ooh, just a little too far. A little too far from Cow to Dav. Normally that's pretty reliable. I'm being told by the technical booth that probably should have had a little bit of roll on it. Just a little bit, too much IO, pushed it down. So Brittany has been on almost every Nationals winning team, walks it to the front. Got an isolated Tom Abrams in front of him. And on that upwind sideline, which is really where they want to be, 2 throws against the mark, 3 throws against the mark. Garner just toes himself in. Matt Bevan, just Travelology. Cowie telling Bevan, hold your mark, hold your mark. Can't let another one of those out for yards for Clapham. High stall count. Ollie Gordon gets the bailout from Phil Garner. And Clapham dump and swing. Ben Funk now on the other side. Continuation cuts, not quite timed perfectly, but Tom Abrams able to pick one up, and a little switch there. Dav and Penny switching players as recognised that they've tried to run a 1-2. Tom Abrams with a high stall timeout. We've seen this before from Clapham. We've seen it once today and we saw it once yesterday. Just happy to call timeout high in the stall count. I know Sean Scone would thoroughly approve of that. Clapham coming out their timeout, setting up an end zone stack. Razar Ghul isolated in the middle. Actually, sorry, it looks like two 3-man stacks. Gordon Dump, Gilbert and Richard Raz in the first stack, and then staying nice and tidily out of the way, Ben Funk, James Barron, Phil Garner, and immediately a break mark to Ollie Gordon, and Phil Garner took off from the back of that stack as soon as that disc had gone. Ollie Gordon, that's a great lead pass from Mark Gilbert. And that's it. That's game. Clapham are your 2014 UKU Open champions. That is 14 notches on the trophy for Clapham. Well done. I think Chevron will be disappointed in the end score. They let up a few offensive goals a bit too easily due to silly mistakes. MVP of the game? Ooh, that's a tough one. MVP of the game will be announced during the women's final. Okay, thank you very much. Over to Tom, pitch side.
UK teams in total. Talk us through your performance. Talk us through the tournament as a whole.
Well, I think Cambridge are probably the happiest British UK team that went out to Italy. The finishing sixth, going 5-4 over the weekend, managed to finish sixth, only having a negative goal difference of -3 over the whole 5 days. But you win the games that matter, and we were fortunate enough to do that.
Okay, and on the first day, the heavens opened, all the games were cancelled, there was a foot of water on the pitches in some places. How did that affect your preparation? Because obviously you guys have had in mind the first games, when they're going to be played, what sort of warm-up time, and all of a sudden all that's out the window and you're looking at muddy pitches and all your preparation's gone.
I think it made life very difficult for a lot of people. We thought we knew who we were going to be playing first. Frankly, we thought we had a relatively game to start against the China United Ultimate Party. And then we went in against a European team made up of an open and a women's team thrown together, and they really wanted it. They came out harder, and we ended up losing our first game in sudden death. Had to really pick ourselves up from there. I think it could have been a very different tournament for a lot of people. People talked about the injuries that they picked up because they just had different stresses on the body in the mud, and then there's the hard ground wear. It's been interesting, but you have to deal with it. Everyone's playing in the same conditions ultimately.
Yeah. And where did you finish? Where's your closing result?
So we ended up sixth. We had a great quarter against Dragon Thrust, the eventual champions. We got to half 9-7 up in that game, and then we talked at halftime about being a game of two halves, and unfortunately they went out and they won that second game 10-3. So they were champions for a good reason. They beat us there, but we were happy in the end to have made quarters, and we still bounced back with a win in our next game.
Okay, and just talk about the UK situation as a whole. We had two teams out in open, two teams out in women's. We had Clapham taking sudden death loss, but sudden death against Revolver, the reigning champions. What was the vibe amongst the UK players watching those games and seeing the performance?
I think everyone was massively proud of Clapham. It's very difficult. You're going out. You feel very differently about a team when you're at Worlds than you do when you're here domestically. But losing one game all week in sudden death, Clapham should be very proud of themselves. They know that's something to build on. But we had a lot of open teams. We had Emo had a really great week out there. They not overperformed, but they can be very proud of themselves. Iceni, the highest ranked European British team. Cambridge are the highest non-North American team in the mixed division. I think we all represented ourselves pretty well, and as we should, because the UK is the leading light in European Ultimate, and that's what we should want.
Okay, well, that's great positive news from Worlds. Thanks very much for coming to talk to us, Rich.
Pleasure.
We're going to be back in 5 minutes' time for the women's final. What time is it now? At 3 o'clock, is it? We'll be back for the women's final. Probably just before that, myself and Sarah Garn will be commentating on that one for you.
The ladies